نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to all my dear sisters and welcome to this session once again. Lesson number 8 we will be covering for today, and I hope that you are keeping up with the lessons that we are doing and you're practicing them on your own as well. So because we are moving step by step for that purpose, okay, I don't want to keep things fast so that the beginners, the beginner sisters especially, they get to have benefit as much as they can. So for that matter, today we will be, like the today's topic that I have selected is that we will be doing compound letters, right? Earlier, what we have done up till now is that we did the individual letters, right? Individual letters of Arabic, their names, and somewhat about their sounds as well, mostly about their articulation, right? So we did that, and yesterday I told you that for Arabic letters, their shape changes, with regards to their position they have in a word. So we are slowly and gradually moving towards the words as well, right? But for today's session, we will be doing compound letters. So that can be like 2 letters, 3 letters, right? So the composition will be like this. Why we are doing this? Because earlier I told that how the letters change their shape, right? So while doing the compound letters, you will get to have the benefit to see the letters when they are joined together, right? So I hope that you are keeping up with the previous lessons as well for this lesson, inshallah. So let's move on to the today's session, inshallah. Compound letters, how to put letters together. So we will just see that quickly, inshallah. Okay, so the first here, is an individual letter here, which is Aleph. We have already, done this. Let's see the second one. The second one is Lam and Aleph. La. This letter Lam is joined with the next one. The Lam letter is joined with the next letter, which is Alif here. So this is Lam and Alif, which makes it like La. This was Alif. This is a compound, letters here, which is Lam, Alif, La. Right? So because we just have this half portion of Lam written here, not the full Lam, right? And Alif, Alif is like in a slanting position here. Okay, so the next form again is for la here. This again is the way we write lam and alif, right? Sometimes you will see it written like this, sometimes you will see it written like this. So again, lam, alif, la. The next here is ba letter, right? We did that, like the ba letter is written, let me write for you as well, side by side. So this is like ba letter and alif letter. We took this first part and this was ba and alif, ba, right? So the 2 letters, ba and alif, ba. This was lam letter and alif letter. This was lam and alif letter. So today's sort of like a practice session, you can say, okay? So this is noon letter here. Noon letter here and alif letter, na. Noon and alif, na. So this was ba. Ba has a dot below it. I said that you're not supposed to confuse these because the shape of this and this looks alike, right? But you are not supposed to confuse these two together. Why? Because ba has a dot below it and noon has above it, right? So this is noon alif na. So the next here is ta letter with 2 dots on top and alif. Ta. Ta, alif, ta. So the first here is alif, lam alif la, lam alif la, ba alif ba, noon alif na, ta alif ta. The next here is ya letter, right? The ya letter and alif letter. And I said that you are not supposed to again, confuse the dots because ta letter has 2 dots here as well, right? The ta has 2 dots, but they are above. For ya letter, the dots are below it. So ya, alif, ya. The next letter here is sa letter. And sa and alif. Sa. How do we articulate this sa? Okay, so the tip of the tongue touches the tip of our upper teeth softly. There isn't any whistle sound and we say sa, sa. Okay, so sheen letter, and alif letter, sha, sheen, alif, sha. Okay, so also, okay, so the next letter here is seen letter and alif, sa. This scene has whistle in it. Sa. This was sa without whistle sound, right? Articulation was different as well. So this is seen and alif sa. Seen alif sa. So for all of these, I said that we just take the like half part of it and we attach that with the next letter. This here is fa. Fa letter. Okay, let me write this. What's happening? Fa letter and alif. Fa. Fa and alif. Fa. And this is qaf letter, two dots on top, and alif qa. Qa. This is a heavy letter. Qa. Okay, so this was ya alif ya, sa alif sa, sheen alif sha, seen alif sa, fa alif fa. Right? We took the first part, right, and joined with this alif. Fa alif fa. Qaf alif qaf. So, okay, qaf alif qa. Okay, so the next here is Jeem letter, which has a dot, in between, and alif here. And I said that when we are, taking a part of Jeem, we just do like this. We just cut it like this. So this is what remains, right? So Jeem, the dot is below here. Jeem, right? So Jeem, alif, ja. Jeem, alif, ja. The next here is Kha. Kha, which has a dot on top of it, right? So when we take the first part, the dot is on top for Kha. So for Jeem, the dot is below this. Jeem, alif, ja, Kha, and alif is Kha. This is a heavy letter. This has this scratch sound in it. Kha. Okay, so the next letter is Ha letter and alif. Ha. Ha, alif, ha. This is again a letter of throat, and this ha comes from the middle portion of throat, which is like more airy, right? Constricting the muscles of your throat to articulate this ha. Ha, alif, ha. Okay, so the next letter is ain. Ain. Ain letter and alif. Ah. Again a letter of throat from the middle portion of our throat, and we say ah, ah. We are not supposed to say ah. This is not a ah sound, the simple ah. No, this is from the first, like the first part of ain is from the throat, and we say ah. And the second sound of alif is just from our like mouth. So ah. The next is ghain letter and alif. So we say gha, gha, right? Again a heavy letter and there is this gargle sound in it. Gha, ghain and alif, gha. Okay, so the next here is sad letter and alif, and we take the first part of sad and we join that with alif, right? So this is saw, saw. So this was sa. Seen and alif is sa, and like empty mouth letter seen, and all like the all of the ear just comes out of your mouth when you say this? Sa. And this is a sod letter, which is a heavy, and we say saw. Saw. Our mouth feels full. Sod and aleph is saw. Saw. Okay. The next letter here is bod letter. Bod and aleph. Ba. Bod letter and aleph. Ba. Ba. Dod is the heaviest of all letters of Arabic, and for this, the sides of the back part of our tongue, right? The sides of the back part of the tongue, they touch the upper molar, like wisdom teeth, and you make the heaviest sound possible and say law, law. I told you that, just like for you to remember that this is like the th sound of in English. The sound at the start, you are supposed to say this like in a heavy way. Law, law. And obviously to make this sound heavy, you will have to work at the back portion of your tongue, right? The back part of your tongue. So that is law, law. Okay, so the next is paw letter, right? Paw letter and alif. Paw. And this paw letter is again a heavy letter. And I hope that you still remember somewhat of what we did about the heavy letters and light letters, right? I told you guys that there are 7 letters which are always heavy, right? And I told you the abbreviation for them as well, which is khusfa ضغط قل. You will find that everywhere. This abbreviation is very famous. So from this abbreviation, you remember the 7 heavy letters. So the paw letter is from those 7 heavy letters. Paw, paw letter and alif, paw. I'm not saying ta, ta. The ta was this one, right? We did here. This was ta, the light one, ta, and this is paw, paw. Okay, so this is like wa letter and alif, wa. Wa letter and alif, wa. This wa is again a heavy tip of the tongue, touches the tip of our upper teeth, and we make a heavy sound as well, and we say wa, wa. The next letter is meme letter, right? The meme letter and alif, ma. Meme alif, ma. So this is ha letter, ha. The ha that comes from the throat and especially from the portion of the throat that is near to our chest. Ha, 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 and alif, ha. Kaf letter, the light kaf letter, and alif, ka. Kaf letter, right? We write kaf like this as well, right? So kaf letter and alif, ka. Ka. This was qaf. This was qaf letter. Qaf and alif. Qa. The heavy. Qa. And this is ka. Ka. Kaf and alif. Ka. This is here lam letter. We join this with ba and lam letter and ba. And also, here there isn't any symbol written on these compound form of these letters here, right? The letters are joined, but you do not see any symbol of like fatha or kasra or dhamma on these, like the three basic like short vowel sounds that we see in Arabic. So because there are no symbols written here, so like for example, there could be like the dhamma symbol here and this symbol, and we would just say it like lub, but because there isn't any symbol here, so we might use any other symbol. I can just say lam and this one lab here as well, right? So it's like our choice what we put here. We are just practicing for now, right? So we need not to worry about the symbols that we put for now. So, that might sound interesting because if we put, if we change this dhamma and fatha symbols, so the meaning of the words changes as well, like drastically. So for that matter, we have to be very careful when we are reading Quran. But for now, because, we are not reading these from the Quran, there can be examples of word from Quran but we are not here changing the meaning of the like the Quranic verses, right? So we can just put, I'm just for practice, I can just put it like this as well. So this is like lam letter and ba, and I'm making the lu sound here, lub, because I placed the symbol lub. If I just put, a fatha symbol, I will say lab, right? So we are just practicing right now. So lam and ba, let's say lab, right? Lam and ba, lab. So this is kaf letter. We did just like light kaf earlier as well. Kaf and ba, kab, right? Kaf and ba. So we just do the letters for night right now. So this is again kaf letter and ta letter. Cuts, cuts, right? Kaf and ta here, cuts. And again kaf letter with tha letter here. Tha, kath, kaf and tha, kath, tha, without any whistle sound. So the next one here is kaf letter with fa, kaf, kaf, and ba letter, the heavy one with letter ba, bob. Okay, so the next part is a kind of, bit easy. Why? Because they are all joined with lam letter. That is very, prominent. That is very obvious here. The lam letter at the end of all of these, lam. So just attaching a few words at the start. This first one was seen, seen and lam. Let's place fatha here. Sal, sheen and lam, shall, sal, shall. Sol, the heavy, sol, the letter. This was light, this is heavy. Sol, sol. And this is the heaviest letter, lo, bod. And we will say, let's put a fatha here, bol, bod and lam, bol, bol. Fa letter here, fa and lam, fal, fal. Qaf letter, the heavy one with lam, qal. Or we can put, dhamma and say qul, qul. Okay. So there is like a lot of examples here. That is why I just turned this session as a practice session for you, so that you get to remember the shapes of the letters, that how we are supposed to join the letters with other letters. Okay, so that is why we're doing, and we are just like kind of moving quickly as well. So let's say this, like this is like ain letter and lam here, al, ain and lam, ain and lam, from the portion of throat which is middle, al. So here ghain letter and lam, ghal, gha, ghal. Okay, so here kaf letter and lam, kal, or we just put dhamma and say kul, kul, right? And this is like a famous word as well, kun, which means like be, right? Kun and fayakun. Allah says be and it is. So kun, kaf letter and noon letter. Kun, kun. Okay, so ta letter, the heavy ta and noon letter, and this is the way we join them. Let's put a fatha, ton, ton. Pa, pa. This is not not the light one, but the heavy pa, pun. The wa, again a heavy letter with noon, one, one. Okay, so Jeem letter. I told you for Jeem, the dot is below, right? When we cut this part, the dot is below. For Ha letter, when we cut it, the dot is on above it. So let's put a fatha. Jim and dal letter is as it is here, right? The jim and dal, jad, jad, right? Jim and dal, jad. Kha and dal, khad, khad. Ha and dal, had. Sorry. Ha and dal, had, had. The ha, which is airy one, right? Airy one. And ayn, ayn, ayn and dal, ad, ad, right? I'm making the sounds very prominent for everything, right? Ayn letter and dal, ad, ghain letter and dal, غد, غد, right? So the next one is kha letter here with the letter here, the soft the letter. Kha with the scratch, with this abrasion, and dal, tip of the tongue touches the tip of our upper teeth, and we say this the letter. Right, let's put the symbols. Khaz, khaz, right? Kha and the. Khaz, zal. Okay. So the next one is kha letter and the z letter. The z letter with this buzzing sound, with this, vibrations in this, and we say kha and z. Kha and z. Khaz, khaz. I'm making this buzzing sound prominent because that is the quality of this letter. Okay. Khaz and ha and ra, har, har. Ha and ra, har. Ba and ra, bar, bar. Ya letter and ra, yar. We took this, I told you that like the ways the ya like changes its shape, right? In the possibilities that it can take. So ya letter here is written like this, we just took some part of the ya, like, this part of ya. Yeah, the dots are below. Ya and ra. Yar. Pa and ra. Tar. Va and ra. Zar. Zar. The heavy za. Okay, so again, let's put this symbol here for articulation, right? So this is ba letter and meme letter. So we have like put a kasra here. So ba, meme, bim. Here kasra, bim. Or if there was a fatha, what we would have said, like this one, bam or boom, right? So let's say this like bim here, right? Ba and meme letter, bim. So let's put again a kasra, noon letter, and meme letter here. Nim, nim. Ta letter and meme letter, tim, tim. Ya letter again and meme letter, yim, yim. Ya and meme, yim. Sa letter and meme letter, or let's put a like this here. Thum, thum. Sa and meme, thum. Sheen and meme. Let's place this symbol. Shim, shim. Okay, so lam letter and jeem here. Lud. Let's place this symbol. Lud, lud. Lam and jeem. Lud. Ain, Ain and Jim. Let's put these here. Ud, Ud, Ain and Jim. Ud, U. Like the starting sound here is U. Ud and Ha and Jim. Had, had. Okay, so I hope that you are getting the letters a bit, and inshallah, I hope that you're practicing. I hope that you are writing these as well for practice as well. Okay, so this is like ba letter here and ain letter, ba and ain letter. So ba letter, let's place the symbol. Let's place the symbol right. Ba and a, because I have placed the fatha on both of these. Ba and a. Okay, so I'm like creating a mess, here with all of these writing and everything, but I hope you get these. So let's move a bit quickly now, right? I'm not going to write for a few words now, so because we have quite many examples left for now. So this next one is ya and ghain here. Ya and ghain. Ya. Noon and sod here. Noon and sod. Now fa and sod. Fas. Fas. I'm, making the sod sound heavy. Fas. Qaf and bod. Qawd. Qawd. Bod sound here. Qada. If you place fatha, qada. 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 Ba and seen here. Ba and seen. Ya and seen. Ta and seen here. Okay, so we have quite many examples left. What I would just say is that you can take a screenshot of this slide and you can practice this on your own as well. What we can do is that I can just tell you the last part of it, these last, because there are like three letters here, and I can just tell you these. Okay, so I will just tell you the important one for now, inshallah, because there are so many, we cannot just, have all of these practice for now. So let's, talk about this one, for example. Other, the above ones, you can inshallah practice those on your own. What is this, let's talk about these and these. Okay, why I'm marking these is because of a certain reason. So you see a hamza here and vaw here. In all of the other cases, the letters were joined in this way. For example, we take lam and alif, so we say la, or we just took this like fa letter and we joined this with qaf letter. So they were like the first letter was in its own position, like the first one was this, and the second one was just attached to next to it, right? So this is like two. But in this case here, there is a letter, like one letter, and on top of it there is another one. So the sequence is kind of changed. For the other ones, one letter and then comes the next one that is joined to it. But for this one, there is a one letter and top of it there is another one. For this, I would just tell you that this is a way we write Hamza sometimes. I told you that, the way the letters are joined, right? So Hamza sometimes what it does is that sometimes Hamza is alone. It is an interesting letter, and sometimes Hamza Hamza has a chair to sit on, right? For example, this letter Hamza, sometimes this is alone. Sometimes this Hamza, has his like seat as this here. Sometimes we write it like this. I told you. Sometimes we write it like this as well, right? So, sometimes Hamza needs a chair. You can just remember it like this. So sometimes the chair of Hamza is wow. Sometimes the chair of Hamza is ya letter as well, right? So sometimes I told you it is alif as well, right? So for Hamza, I would just say is that you will have to remember certain possibilities that you can see here, right? I might not have summarized all of these, but for now you can just see that sometimes Hamza is like this, sometimes Hamza is like this as well. Sometimes Hamza is on a vowel here, and sometimes it is on ya, and sometimes it is alone as well. So the examples can be of word here an word here, which has this Hamza written like this. The second example is of Hamza in word ila, E here. The Hamza has a sound of E here, right? Because of the symbols of Fatha and Kasra here. Hamza here is, in this word of Ha-ula-i, Ha-u. So the sound I'm making is a oo sound. Ha-u. I'm not making the wow sound. I'm not saying woo. I'm not saying like not saying the wo sound, woo of wow letter here, okay? I'm saying oo sound, double o kind of sound. But why? Because Hamza is here, but you see a wow written below Hamza, so that is the way we write sometimes Hamza. So when you see a Hamza written on top of wow or on top of ya, so in those cases that is a Hamza, not wow or ya. Okay, so in this example, for example, like yu'minuna, yu'minuna. Here again, wow. And on top of that, there is a hamza. So we will make the sound of hamza instead of the sound of wow. Okay. So, this ya letter, and on top of that, there is a hamza written. So you can see this example from the word of Surah Kahf when there is written like wahayyi, wahayyi, right? Wahayyi. Here at the end there is a ya, and on top of that there is a hamza. So I am making a hayyi. The this sound I'm making is of hamza at the end. I'm not making the sound of the ya sound at the end. Okay. So sometimes it is written like this as well, right? So this is like a jim here, and then there is a hamza, and then there is at the end, mm, you know, uh, noon and aleph. So this is like word made up of these things. So the first is like jim, the second is this hamza, but hamza is placed on something like this. That is a ya here, right? So ya sometimes is like this as well. So that is again yeah here, and I said that sometimes Hamza is alone as well. Like this. In at the end of this word, in Hamza is alone. So for now, you know that Hamza is very like tricky or interesting as well. But it's not that confusing, inshallah, because if you remember these possibilities of Hamza, because the symbol of Hamza, you will keep on seeing that like the symbol of Hamza is always, there's the small symbol is there, so you get to remember the Hamza for that thing. Let's, do this. I told you that I'll be, selective here, and we will just do that this here ba letter, and the next here is ta letter, right? So this is like a ba letter and ta letter here, I said. But I told you, the way we just cut these letters when we are joining them. So we cut the ba like this, and the shape is like this, or this it takes in the middle of the word. For ta, I said the shape is like this at the start when joined with the word, and when it comes in the middle, the shape is like this. I just forgot to tell you an important point, I think, which is that sometimes the ta letter specifically comes in a shape like this as well, right? Let me just, write it like this here. Okay, so the ta letter sometimes at the end is written like this as well. Okay, so this is a ta letter. We used to, write the ha letter like this as well. The ha letter, this ha, right? For the ta letter, there are two dots on top of it on this shape. So this is like a ba and a ta, right? Like ba and a ta. And this is here noon and ta. This is like mostly called like a round ta, right? A round ta, ba and ta, noon and ta. So for now, some points important, right? So I've like placed it here as well. That ta, it comes at the start like this. In the middle, it comes like this. At the start, the example is ta'alam, ta'alam. In the middle, the example can be qatala, qatala. And at the end, you see this word of jannatan, jannatan. At the end of this word, there is tan sound, which is a letter ta here. Okay, so I think that is it for today. We have like certain letters here as well. We can just inshallah do these in the next session as well. For now, that is it for today. And jazakallah khairan kasira for your patience, everybody. And I hope that you get benefit from these sessions as well, inshallah. So ending the session with this dua that سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.